Doesn't really matter if you're old and gray. It's alright, I say it's okay. Listen to what I say. It's alright, doing fine. Doesn't really matter if the sun don't shine.
Tickle sticks. How tickled I am. There we are. The one that I haven't done is to actually open up this page. That's Dennis Waterman with the theme tune to New Tricks, UK program from many years ago. Many years ago. And I've got some music here. Oh, that's a little loud. I'll listen, man. Okay, here we go. We've got the drawing part. All right. Well, look at that. There's all kinds of. All right. Well, look at that. There's all kinds of. All right. Well, look at that. And let me turn the sound off. As soon as I find, oh, the sound's over on the other side. Facebook is on that side, and YouTube is on that side. I'm still getting used to all this stuff here. All right. I actually want to move this over here so I can see it a little better. All right. Oh my goodness, going to be a little tired. This is yesterday. Well, I'll see if others come in here. But yesterday I was talking about the horseshoe crab page. It was today. I had all these notes, and I've actually got more notes. I got more photos. I got all kinds of stuff. But I realized, because I'd also done these. If I can get an agreement tomorrow, this needs to be two-sided. One that explains what the horseshoe crab is, and the other one that explains the coming off the ocean and onto land and laying eggs. And it actually needs to be panels. I was trying to do it horseshoe. I don't know if you can see that horseshoe crab here, horseshoe crab there, and then into the water. But that's not going to work because they really come out of the water into the sand, lay the eggs. The female does, then the male comes behind her, fertilizes the eggs, and they both go back into the water. They look like peas. Little peas open up into baby horseshoe crabs and go into the water. I need to show that, and the only way to really do it is panels. And I like to show that the horseshoe crab is not a crab, and other little details that would be neat, and that could be this side. Unfortunately, I'd already sketched out, like you can see, a seawall. How they can't have seawalls because they get in the way. The seawall gets in the way for the horseshoe crab. So I drew this to go along with the idea that the horseshoe crab comes onto land. So I think I'm going to have to erase all this, and what a day, what a day. Oh, there's Melissa Busby. Well, how are you? Did you get your air conditioning? I could see. Now, there were some visitors here the last couple of days. I don't know if they're going to come back or not, but maybe they go over there with fans. And remember, I lived that life. I lived the non-air conditioned life. So I know it well. It's good. Finally fixed. Well, good for you. Because I had some tips for you, because I've been there, as you may know. I've been there too much. It never got fixed. I'm in air conditioning these days, but... All right, now hold on, I need to pull my pans. I need my pans. What was I using yesterday? Oh, I was using the brush. Hold on. I've been working on this horseshoe crab thing. But yeah, I really need this to be 2 pages, two-sided. I don't know if she'll go along with it, but if she does, I think she will, actually. Because it's best. So that's a horseshoe crab. You have any horseshoe crabs at your house? I don't know if you know, but they actually also double. If you have some at your house, I don't know if you know, but they also double as air conditioners. Did you know that? You got some in your house? You didn't know that? You gotta ask. You have to, when you have they may not communicate. You need to ask your dogs too. Do you double as air conditioners? They just might. You gotta ask. You never know. All right, what am I doing? And again, I think you know the 15th, at Gabriel's. First, I got to get through this weekend. I hope I can drive there and drive back. Whew. I'm gonna go the long way. I'm going south and cross 60, Bartow, and then I'll be there Friday, Saturday, Sunday, driving back. Then I gotta get some sleep because Monday I got driving too. So I'll be a little tired. I admit that. What am I doing here? No, you don't swing them around. No, you don't do a dose. You don't listen to this music I'm playing and do a do with horseshoe crabs. No, that's not what you do. I think you're confusing. I hope. Here we go. We're flickering again. I have I've had the electricity go out faster here than I did in Ocala, and we were constantly being barraged with lightning. Something weak here. I don't know what it is. And I've got a surge protector, but it's not. I've already had the lights go out once here, just about within a half hour. And I know there's storms about, but all right, let's see if I stick around. Do not swing them by their tails. I did. There is a video on YouTube. There it goes flickering again. There was a. If I go out, please bear with me. I'll come back. But there's a video on YouTube of how to barbecue grill, how to grill a horseshoe crab, and they're actually picking them up by the tail because they don't care. Of course, they boil them alive and then they cook them right away, all done very quickly. What am I looking for? What was I doing? Oh, I was looking for what the birthday thing is today. I just found this works better than Facebook. And we've had yesterday a number of people came in here. It was weird. It's not that different than how they make cotton candy. Oh, that's strange, really strange. Hold on, let me see. Whose birthday is it? I made notes. I forget. Or you want to throw something in there? I admit I'm tired. I don't know why. I don't know how do I get to. We're going over. Actually, there was some young folks here yesterday that were actually some really helpful guidance. Let's see, I'll do it this way. I'll play this silly game. I'll go backwards. Well, I'm glad you got your air conditioning, so I guess your pups are happier about the world. But really, pups don't feel this stuff. Cats, pups. I had a kitty that didn't care much for the air conditioning being gone, but it also I found out talking to some vets they don't register it like we do. We're missing the fur. It's like the horseshoe crab. They're covered, and why they've lived for billions of years is because we can't compare us to them because we're weird. We're mutants. We're like the X-Men. All humans are. All right, today would have been Eugene Pallette. I'm a big fan of him. He was born in Kansas, but he had a real Southern accent. Everything he did, Pallette would do because he was a My Man Godfrey, and he was supposed to be in New York City, but he sounded like this, and he had a deep voice, gravelly thing. And Billy Eckstein, Steve Lawrence, such a fan, and John D. Rockefeller. Yep, watch your wallet. And of course, any thoughts? Yeah, well, and I know, with other issues you deal with. Well, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? Let's see. What do you type? Funnels, hot to sleep. Don't say right sleep. I'll go to. I was reading about how it is important that those of us of a certain age do take naps. It's being more and more shown it's actually good for us. And I probably should have done that today, but I've been working. I've done a lot today. I did two. I did a back podcasting. Last week I did a political one in Swamp East, Florida, and I just did two tonight. I did a podcast politically about the what came out in France. Well, let me draw. I need to draw. What am I drawing though? Well, hold on. Make sure I get some ink in here. Come on, ink. Ink. I got to do a drawing for my aunt, too. I need to do that. Promise that brings up for my aunt. And she'll put it outside her door. I hope this works. might do that. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. And I can also save these videos here too, which is good. Well, I like that to that horseshoe crab. I'm going to meet with Laura Lee tomorrow morning. We've got to discuss what am I drawing? We have to just, I don't know, I keep seeing fluffy hair. Well, I cannot get the ink in it. This is the right one I was using, I think. Torrent? Maybe Torrent. Maybe using all that ink. So you're gonna get some rest. Was this the one that was working? I guess the answer to that is yes. Yes, it was. So you okay for the 15th? You got your air conditioner working? I gotta get it with Betty Hill. I haven't. I'm getting with some friends while I'm over there in Pinellas and Hillsboro. Well, Pinellas. Actually, this looks like a clown. I'm actually not a fan of clowns. Except in politics. I did a podcast about the what happened in France. That's real interesting. And of course, I was up for. I don't know if I mentioned this last week, but I was up for hours. I was watching the UK results all day, July 4th. From 4 p.m. till 4 a.m. I was watching results. Fascinating what happened there. Basically, the same thing sort of occurred. But we better be taking notes here in the U.S. Some nutcases are getting in a bad spot. And the podcast I did about Florida is apparently, and Andrea, our friend Andrea, made me privy to it. The mayor of Deltona wants to create a downtown. Crazy talk. So I did a podcast about general development and the Mackle brothers. Oh, what's an ad? Oh, I have to go through the whole thing here. You just have to go. This is apparently, I think this is okay. This is royalty free, I believe. But I'm going to try to do. Where are you? Where do you go? Here we go. I'm going to try to do a podcast every week. And I think I'm going to do some political cartoons. Were you here when McManus was? No, I don't know if you were there. That was a godsend there. Should I be doing these? And suddenly McManus pops up first time in at least a year, maybe two. We usually communicate around Christmas time. But if he and some others will get the cartoons around, I'll do them. I'll probably do them in conjunction with the podcast. Whoops. I should do them and take them to my sister, and then she'll get mad. Remember, my sister's not quite on the same page. I'm not sure what page she's on. I think she's in the index that never got out. Hey, what are you reading? What's your favorite book? Do you have a favorite book? Because I don't know how I'd answer that question. It came up, and I don't know what the answer is. I think it depends on genre. Not really. You hate all books. It's not, I'm kidding. I'm reading a book about the first black congressman out of Florida, and he was a Republican. But this book that was published by University Press of Florida, who I know started taking political stances in 1990, apparently were taking political stances in the mid 70s. That's when this book came out, because this book is so weird. It's as if the Democrat Party doesn't exist and it's all Republicans and they're all bad. And I know that's not true. I know that's not true. I've read too many other political histories not published by University Press of Florida. I now got to rethink anything I read by University Press of Florida. I just got to kind of, I don't know where some of my information came from, but I no longer can trust it. I just can't believe it. I'm reading this, and I'm not that far in because I'm making all sorts of notes and tabbing it and so on. I'm about 30, 40 pages in. It's only about 150 pages long. It's dense. So it's like basically the 30 pages like 75 or so in normal book world. But anyway, the Democrats are mentioned twice. Twice. And all it talks about are elections, 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 elections. What are you talking? What, are you kidding me? I was hoping I would find something that was going to be honest. Well, you know where I need to get back to the Melbourne Library one of these days to see what's in their bookstore. I only went there once back in end of March. I haven't been back since. I knew they were having a sale. That's where I got a bunch of Florida books. Oddly enough, none about Brevard County. Oh, because they're, of course, keeping those, I guess. I should go back and check. But, well, frustrating. And I believe, Miss Melissa, that's you playing the banjo there, I believe, right? I think that is. The other one, reading, I've got some advanced books, copy books again. Reading a John Stone Western. It's not good. I mentioned I was reading these Jonas Ward Buchanan books, and I finished that, and I think, well, let me get one of these John Stones out of the way. And wow, the John Stone book is full of a bunch of 2020s Valley Girl phrases, and I'm marking them as I go through, and I'm about I don't know, a third of the book through the book, maybe more. And it's almost every page. And it really stands out after reading the Buchanan book that was written in 1956, 57 in Clearwater, may I point out. But 56, 57, 50, 54, 55, I mean. And none of that's there. So it really stands out. Hold on, get some ink in this boy. What was wrong with your air conditioner? I guess it was easy. My problem was that the whole thing needed to be replaced, at least as I was told. I had it looked at by two different people, and they both said that. And that was going to be money I just didn't have. So I just dealt with it. Here, I'll do a Hanna-Barbera type paw. Oh, really? Again, I hope this. I had a good little surge thing, and Tim took it out, and I think he said he was going to get me another one. I never did. I have a surge protector, but it's not as good as one I had. That's a Sam's Club thing. I guess I need to do something. Tim may have some just all over in a closet sitting there. I should ask him because I think that's what he said. Was this your dog? Dogs? Here, I'll give him a chair. But they probably really didn't show too much. Going outside, that's different. One thing that helped my house was that I had a canopy of trees over it, so it kept it a bit cooler. But it was not entirely covering it. In fact, that was going to be a problem if I wanted to try to get insurance before I knew I couldn't get insurance. Well, not that I couldn't; it was just going to cost a fortune. Is that these insurance companies don't care? They just say if there's a tree anywhere near your house, we're going to charge you $5 million extra dollars. And let me warn you, down this way, very few trees covering houses. This is very bad. Again, trees are good for hurricanes too. Insurance companies are liars. I learned this when I was with the city of Orlando. I learned things. As you had a portable air conditioner, was it one that you had to connect to the window with a duct? What am I looking for here? I know what I'm looking for. I need over back this way. Yeah, I didn't have any airflow either because the house was shotgun initially, but they decided to block in the back porch, so there was no way the air could get through. That was the problem with the air conditioning not being on, and also the garage that was added. So yeah, there's no airflow in my old house. Well, that's right. I ain't got it. I was going to. Over there. A water one. I'm not sure what a water is. I've got one. Actually, my thought was I hadn't heard back from you, but I could always run it over, and then you could put it up. And then if you're coming down this way and I'm still here, you can just hand it back when you get down here. Because I do need to check that PO box if I can occasionally. And it can work well as long as you're in a room that's closed. I don't know your house, but if you got some closure in one room, it won't work on a whole open living dining area. None of those do actually. Actually, I should do this. Yeah. Then you'd have to go in. Yeah, I can imagine. I figured that was probably your biggest challenge was that. And that's why you would confine yourself to what you should be confined, pretty much confine yourself to one room anyway, because even with fans and all, it keeps all in one place so you can feel the rotation in the room. In an open floor plan with fans, that don't do much. But I know all kinds of tricks now. 5 years, no air conditioning. Yeah, I know a few things. And I was doing these lives like that too, with that going on. Of course, you could hear the fan and I told you that little air thing, the air thing, which is in the storage room here, that took as much electricity as the central air did for the whole house. That was a real shocker to me. Also, I tried not using it unless absolutely necessary. Yeah. Yeah, trying to find an old, just not coming this way. You'd have to go that way. Oh, there's another ad. Um, I do know a lot of places that where those are not necessarily in good neighborhoods anymore, if you know what I mean. That's what's funny about how the houses are around here is that these aren't necessarily the best areas and they're better houses, but or are they? I think old Florida houses. You go north, you know, but then they're scattered about, but they're out there. That's the area I was loved to have gone up to is up toward Live Oak, up toward Glen St. Mary, up toward Crestview and Crescent City, and so on. There are plenty up toward in Alachua County, up in Clay and Bradford. Well, Stark. Because a lot of folks don't want to be in those. They don't know what to do with them, and the kiddies sure don't. But there are a lot of those houses, not just. Then you skip over into Georgia, and they're all around out there, and then up into South Carolina and so on. And there's some in South Central Florida going down toward Wauchula, but and further. There are some if you look around, but that's not going to work for what and especially with your health issues. I don't think that's a good idea. That's just me. No, I mean, I think that your doctor would agree with that too. Where'd you go? Well, the question is, do you really need insurance? And that's the thing. If as my friends Marcia and Gerald learn, their place is paid for. If you want to call it a place, I may have explained. Marcia and Gerald live in a duplex. They own half the duplex. It's basically a condo type thing, and they're stuck because it's real hard to sell when you're in a duplex. For all I know, the Gay family may have built that for actually, because it's just like the ones. So it's like some of the ones in College Park. Be that as it may, but that wasn't their territory. They might have built it. I don't know. I never thought of it until just now. Be that as it may, but when you get to some of these places that you fully pay for, you don't necessarily need to have insurance anymore. It's that if you only put partial down and have to do payments, then you have to have insurance, which was the problem I had with my place in Ocala. But if you can pay for it all at one time, the insurance thing isn't that big a deal. And also, if it's a Florida Cracker House, what are you gonna, if something happens? It's unlike if it's lasted that long. But something may happen. The only thing is a fire. That's not good, but I think with your health issues, I don't think that's a good idea. We're not little kids anymore. By the way, where's my lollipop? I want my lollipop. Oh, get a lollipop. How's that? Amusing. You don't care for it, I guess. I don't know why there's a clown. I just started drawing, and a clown came up. They're for hire. You can always hire them to come and entertain, or they can just blow on you. Oh, I didn't. I can't get to my keyboard. I haven't done anything about the birthday. Oh yeah. Okay. Arr. If you had problems with being in a house without air conditioning, you're not going to be able to do a Florida Cracker House. It's not going to be able to. You can prove me wrong, but I think that's true. I know that's true. Because I mean, that's what Kevin Thomas, the log whisperer, builds. He's building log structures, but he'll tell you you still got to be a hardy soul to live in those. He makes them so that they're like a house in College Park. They just have logs in the front, but a real log house isn't like that, and airflow and so on is difficult. I mean, I admit if I really needed to, involving the house I was in, I could have gotten that air conditioner fixed. But I love the challenge of it. Also, there's a bunch I could have gotten fixed, and I didn't think it was right, so I didn't. I did what I did. I go around telling folks they shouldn't be using it, so I show that, yep, you can't. You don't have to have air conditioning. Made things tough, but it's the way it is. So there's John D. Rockefeller in what Zeppelin created was the Zeppelin, but also dirigibles, even like this, which had all sorts of. Yeah, Greensboro's just south of where I was, in Pilot Mountains. Well, there's where the Dario is. I can't remember. There's a little T city in between Greensboro and the Pilot Mountain. It's a real log cabin. Most of them aren't. I think Kevin said he rarely actually makes real log cabins because most wouldn't know what to do with them. Who's else? Oh, Billy Eckstein, Eugene Palette. Oh. Or so she can't be living in Greensboro. She's got to live outside Greensboro. In fact, she must live going toward what the heck is the name of that? Oh, I can't get to my keyboard. North Carolina. One little four letter name bugs me. I can't remember that. It'll probably pop up because I use the same keyboard to look up Dario. It's where I've stopped. Dario's a really nifty little place. Oh, it didn't show me. Stop giving me Dario. King, yeah, King, North Carolina, little community of King in between Greensboro and. It's all the same up through there. You could actually drive from Greensboro to Mount Airy and not really know you'll see some little city things here or there, but otherwise it's all country through there. But it'd have to be north of after you get out of Greensboro, get out of the city, all the little highway little things, then you start driving north. Or northeast or northwest or whatever. It's neat out there. Yeah, Greensboro's surprisingly urban. It's where Amber has to go for stuff, government stuff. That's where all your government offices are. Oh, cool. Well, I'll say, what the hell did she go from Michigan to North Carolina for? She's folks that stay where they are. Stop. She should have been visiting and learning about it. Now she's got to, and then she'll take her Michigan mindset and irritate folks all around her. That's my thing. When I was up in North Carolina, I bow to what they do. I'm not pushing them to do anything I do. And my Florida stuff. That isn't right. I learned that being in Florida, of course. Hmm. She married. Oh, she married someone from North Carolina. That is why the Marx Brothers. That's why Zippo Marx has his name is because of the Zeppelin. Oh, what's his their birthday? Well, all she is. Why did he marry somebody from Michigan? Then again, I mean, frankly, though Edith was certainly as really Southern as she was, I did marry Sandra, who now, but the difference was Sandra. You see everything she's done. She really embedded herself into Florida and everything it's about. In fact, she was one who she was born in New Jersey and she did come south, but she never went back. She didn't care because she grew up in Ocala and went to Forest High School and explored, and she never went. I don't think she's. I don't know if she'll ever go back. She doesn't even know it. It doesn't mean anything to her. And I like that. And that's my only thing about it. Though I'd like to go up to North Carolina, I'm a Florida boy. That's my little problem there. Just don't think it's right I can do that. I got a problem with ethics and morals. I should really stop it. I should really start robbing banks. Where's all your money? I'll go rob your bank. I'll go rob everybody's bank. Oh, it's time to stop all this moral ethics stuff. Who do I think I am anyway? Time not to live on the lamb, or at least sheep or a cow. There's Andrea. All right, Andrea, straighten me out. I'm about to go rob all the banks. Just 'cause. I got free time. Yeah, none of those folks from yesterday popped up. Yeah, well, yeah, you know how I am. I was able, I live without it, but I'm much more productive with it. I've been out there with Kevin building those log cabins, even up in North Carolina. Of course, he was up there, up in Northern Virginia during blizzards. His lady friend Beatty, she was nervous about all that. There, on the lamb. Bah. Yeah, rob a few minutes. I'm gonna go rob a few minutes. And banks. She did. She got her AC fixed. I did two podcasts today, by the way, Andrew. I did a robbing a few minutes. No, I did a Rob's Right, a political one, and then I did one about. Oh, I did one about the Deltona. The one I left you a message about. Ended up doing a podcast about that. It was just silly. They want to do a downtown. It's just they're just looking at blowing money. I'm sure they're up to their eyeballs in cash and don't know what to do with it. Oh, I know. We'll pretend like we're going to do a downtown. Now maybe he's honest about it. I don't believe so, but maybe he is. I'll give them some benefit of something. I'm going to draw the lamb on a cliff because I drew the lamb too close. I didn't draw the lamb right. Yeah, I'm going to try to do a podcast every week. Maybe I'll do one about air conditioners and why everyone should. That's why I dig at these folks. These folks, these Northerners. I mean, I'm one to talk, but I've lived the life, so I know what it is without them. But I say, did you come? Did you come? Why'd you come to Florida? The weather, so you don't use air conditioning. Oh, of course you use air conditioning. I thought you came here for the weather. You still here? Where'd Melissa go? Ooh, where'd she go? Oh, my kitty fell over here. Oh, there's Kitty sitting there. Today is John D. Rockefeller's birthday, so he's throwing money off. And this is a little teeny Eugene Pallette. That's a bad drawing of Pallette. He was a character actor. He often was in movies in the 30s and 40s where there were very wealthy people, and he played. He would either play a pal or he would play, but he was always a well-dressed pal. But he had a real Southern accent. It's one of the few character actors in Hollywood, 30s, 40s, and he died. I think he died in 19. He died early. He didn't. I think he died around before 50. Anyway, but he was one of the few Southerners. He was from Kansas, but he had a real Southern accent. You still here, Melissa? Where'd you go? Where'd Melissa go? You okay? It was a sign. Had a sign that you're okay. Well, yeah, but you all were, but you were up in the mountain area, so it was a lot cooler. Oh, well, Kevin too. There you are. Okay, just want to make sure you're okay. She suddenly disappeared. I don't know what I'm doing here. And who else? So at Billy Eckstein's birthday, Steve Lawrence. I should be doing a drawing of Steve Lawrence. I should have a picture. Where could I put Steve Lawrence? Well, I could have this cliff go over here. Since you were here last night, what did I do with it? Oh, here's the horseshoe crab. I realize I've started to pencil it, but I realize this. I hope she's okay tomorrow about doing it. This really needs to be two sided. This really needs to be two sided. I just don't see how it works otherwise. I mean, it could, but it would just. She really wants to show the mating habits, and I was going to try to do it with. I really need to do it comic book panel to panel. Only way it's going to really tell the tale because I've got to show that it's the male and female both coming on shore separately. One drops the eggs, the other one fertilizes and moves back to the water, and then also the baby coming out. So I could do that on the. So this side would tell more of the story of the horseshoe crab. I don't know why I didn't think about that before, but I didn't. This made sense. My drawing here all made sense, but now then I was looking at it today and I said, "Gee whiz, yeah, that's not going to work." So, and we'll see. I'll talk with her tomorrow. I got to talk over the rest of this other project too. Real hot here in Florida, no doubt about it. It wasn't so bad in College Park because there's so many trees, especially on my side of Edgewater. There's still a lot of trees. You drive that side of College Park, there are trees everywhere. Now on the other side, on the where Melissa grew up, it's not as many trees. Nowhere near it. That was something when I was with the city we were always recognizing. And that because that was actually built later. The original College Park was built on the east side of Edgewater. The other side was kind of like it was like the secondary area. Was built later. So the trees that were planted had got bigger and bigger on the side I grew up on, bigger and bigger, and there's a lot of them are still there today. Bunch been taken down, but there's still a bunch up. Horseshoe on a cruise. Yeah, they took all your trees. Well, it's funny how what you were saying was that on your podcast where you're talking about how all the trees on your behind you were actually the trees behind you were definitely beneficial to you because it was keeping things cooler. It was stopping certain airflow, but actually it was good if a hurricane had come that way, which actually you ended up experiencing. Those trees will hold it back. Trees will protect are more likely to protect the home, not the other way around. I learned this especially in 2004 when those four hurricanes came through, three specifically through Orlando. Uh, those that because I was having to read stuff and I was out in the field too, and those with trees, their houses were in better shape than those without trees. And I'll point to a colonial town that on the north side of Colonial. There are still some trees there, and the trees did fall, but the ones they tend to fall because weren't as many trees. If you have a series of trees together, like you had behind you, Andrea, they all will work together and stop wind, and the wind will actually skip along the top. That happened in College Park because there's so many trees. The wind's just. But if you have a tree here, and a tree way over there, the wind may take one of those and bring it down. And that was what happened north of Colonial. Wherever there was a separation of trees, the wind would take one down because it would skip over one and come down on the other. It's best just to have a big grouping of trees. So there's more than you probably want to know. I find all this stuff interesting. Now, the insurance folks will tell you something very different. Yeah, the other thing about the horseshoe crab thing is she also wanted to make sure we got in here about the winds. I have to kind of see it there. The winds coming in that would blow the water in would also blow the crabs in. I really could use the whole page for that, and I gotta do something about that. Yeah, because I ended up being out in the field in College Park too during the 2004 storms, and there was a guy. Was he on Edgewater or? He was on Oberlin, I think. Not Oberlin. He was on Helen, I think. Helen, and he was cutting a tree down, and I'm with the city. I'm not to say I really don't have a place. It's private property, so it's up to them. But I was talking to a fellow who was cutting a tree down after the storms. I was saying he was just cutting it down because the insurance company had said you need to cut that down. I said, you probably want to keep that up. It'd probably be a good idea because it's gonna help. But I learned that was very true. The insurance companies are lying, thieving weasels because they're not really against having damage done. They just want pocket cash, and so they do. I don't really care. Heck, they don't know who you are. There was a time when insurance folks knew who you were. It's a rotten thing, the insurance stuff. I'm not a fan of insurance. Of course, I've gotten burned more than once because of the insurance folks too. So I have some to speak to there. But I did a podcast today about the situation in Deltona. And I was going to draw Steve Lawrence. All right, well, I messed that up. Never mind. he was born in 35, so he'd been 89 if he made it this far this year. Yeah, because you guys, your trees aren't as they're more separated. Yeah, we saw. I wasn't on that side. I for somehow I think I asked to be. I was initially in Colonial Town. I spent a week there. I think, fallen trees and all the other mess. But the fallen tree issue was more on the north side than the south side, and the south side had more clumps of trees where they were more together. Though on the north side, it was more like where you are, where their trees are separated, thus open season. Yeah, and I was seeing that also because we had to go back to these areas. Sandra and I had just been reviewing around Punta Gorda and along Bokeelia, down Cape Coral, all through there for the book. And we came back through Punta Gorda, and when we went back that way, same sort of thing. If it were the trees were uprooted, if they were kind of stand by themselves. But that's just that there. Yeah, you gotta watch the water oaks. That's something else. Now that's something I learned from Sandra was about water oaks. 75 years, and that's it. And when they hit that age, and I got it on that was something I was starting to be fearful of there in Ocala because there were some water oaks on the property that were getting close to aging out, and I knew I was going to have a problem. How how to take those down. I kind of got out of that problem the hard way, but I did. It's Sambad. Oh, I see Sambad. Yeah. Something else that's not really true is about palms. Um, Palms are extremely dangerous. Again, palm fronds. They just fly. And as I said, I've said before, I saw that at City Hall right across the street from us because we planted some palm trees, and it wasn't even a hurricane, just some storms, and those fronds went everywhere and caused all kinds of damage. They were really bad. I wish folks, especially the non-natives, that's really bad, really really bad. Well, I'm not sure what on earth this is. This is a weird drawing I've done. Well, actually, what's happened because of the trees that were taken back behind Andrea, she had trees right up against some other trees that are right in her back. It's kind of a shared yard there. Well, now that that tree's all by itself and you've got a big retention pond, that tree is now a dangerous situation because well, big wind comes in. It won't push in your area because almost certainly the hurricane would come in from a dangerous hurricane would come from the east to west, but it would push that tree over into your neighbor's yard. It's much more open to damage now than it was before because they took all those other trees down. Sad but true. But that's the way it is. All right, so well, if I come back tomorrow, I was hoping some of those little kitties would come back here from yesterday. They weren't kid. One was a kid. The other one wasn't. Well, young guy, younger folks. But maybe I'll. This is an interesting place to do it. Um, yeah, I've got. I'm gonna go, but I may work on one of these. I'll do. I can do a drawing, but I really should be working on some of these book things too, because I got a lot. I want to get the Halloween book done, and I'm running out of time with that. But I got to get these other things done first. All right. Well, you all have a good night. Nice to chat with you all, and hope you all have fun. Take care, and I will maybe be back tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. And I think this is a better place to do it. Chop chop. Yes, yes. I need to get some pork chops right away. Yes. Take care. Good night, Robert Smith. Good night. Good night. Oh, I got to figure out. That's right. This ends differently. I think I have to take this off and do it right. Yep, there it is. Oh, there. The X is over there. That worked. No.